Hello and welcome to this video and to a new thing for me that I haven't tried before. So I am going to attempt to read the entirety of Five Survive by Holly Jackson in the 8 hours that this says it spans. So this book, let me read the back for you. Red Kenny is on a road trip for spring break with 5 friends. Red's best friend, her older brother, his perfect girlfriend, and a secret crush and a classmate. When their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere, they soon realise that this is no accident. They have been trapped by someone out there in the dark, someone who clearly wants one of them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape or work out which of them is the target. Buried secrets will be forced to light and tensions inside the RV will reach deadly levels. Not all of them will survive the night. So this is by the author of the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, which I really enjoyed. I'll link my review of those books up here for you. But as this is split into time sections, huzzah, I thought I was going to try and read them in said time sections. Granted, this spans over 10 PM to 6 AM. I'm going to read it 10 AM to 6 PM because, quite frankly, I'm not staying up to read this book. I wouldn't anyway, but I am also, at the time of filming, I don't know when I'm actually going to post this video, but at the time of filming, I'm 39 weeks pregnant. So the thought of doing this overnight is not fun, and if I then ended up going into labour the moment I finish this, I'm going to be knackered and I need to try and conserve my energy for that kind of thing. So we're going to try and do this from 10 till 6. I am on maternity leave, so I have the time to do it. Pete is at work, he tends to come home at about 6:30, so it should be manageable. And I'm hoping that I can read each chunk in each hour's section. I don't have a lot else to do today. I've got Jeff, my dog, who I need to walk at some point. Obviously I need to eat at some point. I do want to make some sort of cake today. So we shall see how it goes. But yeah, that is the plan. I thought I'd bring you along, see how this little experiment goes. And we have 2 minutes until we need to get started. So yeah, I'm not sure that the atmosphere is going to be quite right, seeing as I'm doing it during the day, not in the middle of the night. And I'm hoping that as this is a YA thriller, I can get through the sections at a reasonably good speed. Because some of them are longer than others, and I don't know how much I actually read in an hour. So this is a little experiment, we're going to see how it goes. Let's take off the dust jacket now, because I won't be reading with that. I think it's a pretty cool naked hardback as well. Yellow is not my favourite colour, but I do like the gunshot through the windscreen look. So I actually got this in a charity shop the other day, saw it was spanning 8 hours, thought, oh, I have time, let's try that out. So again, I'll link the vlog where I bought this book, because I did share it in that. Caveat, I know I think I've just mentioned it briefly, but when you're seeing this video, I probably will have had a baby, because I don't know when I'm going to post it. I just thought it'd be a good idea, and I just thought it'd be a fun idea to do. But when obviously you're watching it, I'm very pregnant, so that's going to be the jump in time if there is one. Right, we are at 10 o'clock, so let's start the book. first section in about 40 minutes, and that was about 36 pages. So far we're meeting the characters. I can't say that I'm warming to any yet, but so we are only 36 pages in. Our main character, Red, obviously has a lot of things going on, and she can be quite forgetful, and being in her brain is not the best thing to read from at the moment, but we'll see how we get on going forward. They have now, on their travels, lost signal on their phones and are in like the middle of nowhere with a flat tire, so that's where I've left it for the first hour. I'm gonna take this 20 minutes to try and make some of this cake, because that's another thing that I'm trying to do today, so let's go and do that. So that cake was super easy to make. It's not really a cake, it's like a bar. It's in the fridge now chilling. It's 11:05, so I haven't missed out too much time. There's 38-ish pages in this section, so I'm going to sit and read that now with Jeff for company. Right, 11:48 and the 11 PM section is complete. We now have our sniper shooting, and people are getting very stressed. Still not loving the characters. I think so far Raina and Arthur are the ones I like best. Our main character, Red, I don't particularly like being in her brain. It goes all over the place. I mean, I guess so does mine. But it makes it a little difficult to read from. And man, Oliver's a dick. But yeah, so we're now at 76 pages in. We've got a chunkier 12 section, which is about 50 pages, which I think I'm going to start a little bit earlier, so that, because I need to take my dog for a walk as well soon, so I'm going to probably start that now, like 10 minutes early, so that I can get that complete and then get the dog walked and then have some lunch, although the one section also looks pretty chunky, so this is where we might struggle to fit it in the hour, but we're doing well so far, so enjoying it. Is getting tense. As I said, reading this in the middle of the day probably doesn't add to the atmosphere, but enjoying it so far. Let's see where we go from here, because we have a big chunk left to go compared to what we've already read. So I'm going to start this section a bit early, and yeah, let's see how long it takes. Right. Wrong button. 10:01. I finished that section. I'm enjoying this book a lot. R.L. Jackson really does know how to write a thriller, and one that grips you and makes you like really want to know what's going on, but without giving too much away. So the sniper has now provided them with a walkie-talkie so that they can communicate, and he has let them know that he knows who they are and that they are the right people in the right place, which Just sounds frightening, doesn't it? That you're lost in the middle of nowhere, someone's shooting at you, and then you find out that actually, yes, it's all planned. So they're trying to... Well, in theory, they're not really trying to work out what secret he wants, because he said that there's a secret and one of them will know the answer to what he's after. The brother and the sister, their mum is a district attorney, like a prosecutor, and is working on a big mafia case, so they automatically think it's about that. But I'm going to guess it's not, because that's too early on for that to be the case. So I'm sure we're going to find out some more secrets, and they're now trying to work out sort of an escape plan. So I am enjoying it at the moment. I wouldn't say that the characters are my favourite still, but I like the storyline and so far how it's going. The 1 o'clock section is also about 50 pages, which took me about an hour to read, but I need to walk Jeff and have some lunch, so I think this is where I might end up falling behind a little bit as I take him out and then eat, and I probably won't be starting reading again till about 1:30, which means that the 2 o'clock section is probably going to be delayed as well. But we're managing to stay on track so far. I'm enjoying what I'm reading, and yeah, this is a good plan for my day if I can continue to stay on top of it. Right, I'm back. That was a very quick lunch for me, certainly at the moment on maternity leave. I normally have very leisurely lunches, but it's now 1:35 and I need to try and smash through my next section. I don't think I'm going to finish it before 2, but I will just roll on into the next if that's the case. Right, it's 3:25 and I've only just finished the 2 AM section. So I do need to read the 3 AM section now, but I need to move and I really need to get some water. So I think we're going to have to give ourselves a 5-10 minute break and then go into that one. This is where I thought things would get a bit higgledy-piggledy. I'm probably not enjoying it quite as much as I was when I last came back to you, because there's an awful lot about plans and how to escape and all of that kind of stuff. I'm kind of hoping they just get into the stuff about the secrets now. It's dragging slightly for me, but I'm still very intrigued by what's going to happen, so that's always a positive. But as I said, I need to move. I'm getting a bit uncomfortable. I really need some water, so I'm going to have a little break and then I'm going to come back and read the 3 o'clock section, which I'm hoping is slightly shorter, but we'll see. I had my quick break. It was shorter than I intended because I did look ahead, and the 4 PM and the 5 PM sections are the longest, and as it's been taking me a while to read the ones that are about 50 pages, I'm not sure how we're going to get there because it's currently 3:35. I need to read that section and then those, so we're gonna get back into it, and I probably won't be moving now until I finish this book, so I will probably come back to you now once I've completed it and give you my thoughts. Sweets Home. I made it to 6 in the hour of 6. But we need to take a dog for a walk. Ooh, careful, Jeff. But we need to take a dog for a walk. And I will read that when we come back, which will probably be more like 7. But I nearly did it. Almost. So, as you saw, I did finish 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. Not quite in the 8 hours due to stuff that I had to do, such as the dog and things, but probably in 8.5, 9 hours, which I don't think is too bad going. I enjoyed this book. In the end, I settled on a 4-star for it because there were some things that I would change, but on the whole I did enjoy the thriller aspect of it, and I think that Holly Jackson does a very good job at a thriller. Can I do that? Yeah, there we go. Does a good job at a thriller and keeping it moving and engaging and things like that. And I probably will read anything else that she comes out with. I would say though that I do prefer the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I can never say that one. Compared to this, I think that one is, it just pips it for me. I think I give those books 4.5 stars, but this was fun in the way that a thriller with snipers and stuff can be fun, but also the reading experience of it was quite enjoyable, although a little stressful as I got behind in the afternoon. If you are planning on doing the same kind of reading experience that I did, the latter chunks are much longer, so I found myself getting sleepy. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am pretty pregnant, so I get tired and it was a bit difficult not to like have some extended blinks while I was reading it at points. Not that this book wasn't engaging, but I was just getting a bit sleepy, which again didn't help the fact that I needed to read quicker in those sections. The story itself, as you know, we are following our 6 people in their RV as they get stranded and then set upon by a sniper. It did take me a while to get into the book. The first chunk, certainly that 10 p.m. section, I was a little bit like, oh, what am I getting myself into? I'm not feeling this at the moment. And I did find that at no point did I really care for the characters enough. That's my computer. Enough. I found our main character, Red, a little difficult to read from because certainly at the beginning of the book her mind and the way she thinks is very scattered. She goes off on tangents and those tangents don't seem to have any relevance to what was going on. Like there's this whole thing about the curtains remind her of a character but she can't think what the character is, and that goes on throughout this whole book, and I don't think we ever actually A, find out what the character is, or B, why that's important to the story. So things like that happened a lot with her character, which I found a bit difficult, to be honest. I found it hard to sort of connect with her because of that. The others, I think I said it in the sort of segments while I was reading, but we don't like Oliver. To be fair, the other ones are sort of a bit meh. They're there, but they're not much, if that makes sense. And justice for Joyce and Don is all I can say for that one without giving too many spoilers. The writing itself, I mean, I enjoy Holly Jackson's writing. It's always engaging. As I said, it does. She does know how to write a thriller. It's not. But I did find at points with this one that I was getting a bit bored. Obviously, these 6 people are stuck in an RV, so a lot of it is them trying to work out how to escape, and I did get a bit bored of the plans for that. The sniper tells them that there is a secret and he wants the answer to that. I would have liked there to have been a bit more reveal to each other's secrets, if that makes sense, rather than them trying to work out how to go. I don't mind a bit of that, but it did get a bit tedious after a little while, with a good chunk of the middle being about that, which may be why I was feeling a bit like extended blinky sleepy anyway, part of that reasoning. And the twists themselves, they were obvious but not loads. That's a really bad way of saying it, but I knew what was going to come up, but only like just before it came up. So I guess that is reasonably good writing, because I didn't know it until like the point that it was happening. So, which I'm not mad at. I quite like that idea for it. But if you really like to be shocked by things, I'm not sure this is the book that's going to do that for you. The ending I also thought was a little bit flat. You go through all of this and then it just sort of goes at the end, which again is a bit disappointing. And then those are the reasons why I couldn't give this 5 stars. But like, there were moments that were very tense. There were moments that you were like, oh my, like there were some shocks to it. And overall I did enjoy the book, so would recommend reading it. I do think reading it in the hours overnight probably would have helped the atmosphere, because I read it during the day, and actually for a February day it was quite sunny. It's not today, so maybe if it was a bit more dark and gloomy it might have added to some of the tenseness and the suspense of it, but there was no way I was going to do that. So yeah, glad I picked it up in the charity shop. Glad I decided to read it all in one day, in my little challenge. And yeah, would recommend 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. And if you haven't read her other series, I would check that one out too. But yeah, I've never done anything like this before, so it was different for me and something that I would do again, although I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna be able to now that I'm about to have a child, but there we go. So if you have any thoughts, comments, questions about the book, do put them in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, do go ahead and subscribe if you want to. I can't guarantee that there's going to be many more of these kind of challenge videos with books coming up, but as I said, I do a whole heap of other stuff. I'm still planning on keeping up my monthly book reviews, if books is your thing, and then there's the sort of vlogs that I do every Sunday anyway. But yeah, so if you're interested in those, do click subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!